What's up, YouTube? AvengerDuels here. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I recently just looked at in M1240's video. It's called Yugioh Upstart Goblin Theory, and it's been told and told and told. It's not the first time I heard it, but it just reminded me of it, and I wanted to talk about it once and for all. Today I'm going to be debunking. It's not really debunking because it's true to an extent. But I guess in a way it's debunking that it's so good or whatever. I'm trying to show you how mathematically it's subpar at best. So it depends on the deck that you're running it in. But I'm gonna let you guys decide what you think of these numbers that I ran, because it seems that people just say, oh, 37 cards versus 40 cards, 37 cards is obviously better, and then they end it. They end the discussion right there. They don't actually do the math to support their argument, or they don't actually figure out the actual percentages. I've gone ahead and done that, as you can see. And I'm just gonna give you guys a brief rundown of basically how it's laid out here. So you'll see these two lines where you see the 1/whatever. Here, I'll highlight them. This is explaining how I did it in correspondence with these lines. Now, if you look at the end here, this first line is for Upstart Goblin Theory, and the second is with no Goblin. And you'll figure out how I did the math here. If you want to check it yourself, I've double checked it. It's right. But if you want to do it yourself, feel free. Basically, you do 1 out of 40, 1 out of 39, and then 1 out of 38. This is for oh, I'm sorry, I have it in the wrong order. So let me just change that. There we go. So for Upstart Goblin Theory, because you're effectively decreasing 3 cards in your deck, you would do 1 out of 37, and then you do times 100 to get the percentage, and then you do 1 out of 36 times 100 to get the percentage, and you go on with that for 6 different cards. Now, the reason you do 6 cards is that's because that is what effectively a hand is. Now, this is just saying, like, you gotta understand, if you do draw the Upstart Goblin, it makes the whole deck run in 1 out of last card. If you don't draw Upstart Goblin, it creates it's the same thing as 1 out of 40. So you have to understand that it equalizes at that point, and that's why there's no, I'm only judging the first hand. I'm not judging, the rest of the game, because it depends on if you draw the card or not. And if you draw a card of 3, it's around 50%, or it's a little bit less than 50%. So it pretty much equalizes as far as the rest of the game. So that's why I'm only paying close attention to the first 6 cards to determine the percentage increase when you're playing with Upstart Goblin Theory. So as you can see here, I've done the mathematical equation. You do 2.7%, which is 137. As you can see, they all correspond with these, except I stopped doing it because you get it. So 2.7 plus 2.77 plus 2.85 plus 2.94 plus 3.0 plus 3.13 equals 17.39%. So that means that there's a 17.39% chance that you draw a card, a needed card or a wanted card, in a 37 card deck with Upstart Goblin Theory. So that's your percentage wise. Now, without Goblin, you can see the math again, and it comes out to 16.01%, which is the chance you draw a card, needed/wanted card, in a 40 card deck with no Goblin. So if you actually go ahead and do the subtraction, so that would be what, 17.39 minus 16.01. You're left with blah 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 blah. That'd be. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, I know what it is, but I just want to make sure that you guys see that I'm not. I'd rather you guys not have to check it or something like that. So it's gonna come out to be 1.38, obviously, because all you gotta do is minus that 1. So that's what you're getting. That is what you're getting in your Upstart Goblin deck. You are getting a 1.38% consistency increase. Now, is the theory correct that you get better consistency? Yes. However, understand that I still have this opinion. That's it. Oh. Those are the decks that should run this card, in my opinion, if you're going to do it mathematically and in a smart way, I guess you could say. These are the decks: Exodia, Burn, and OTK decks. I guess I can put Final Countdown on there, but no one really plays that anymore. But yeah, those are basically the decks, and any other deck I can think of that is either very slow or very fast. And when I mean very fast, I mean like you use the card advantage you get instantly. Like you have your hand, you use that hand, that's your deck. So these are the 4 decks that I think that Upstart Goblin is good at, which is funny because it just happens to be that this is how it used to be, and turns out they're right about doing that. Exodia, Burn, OTK, Final Countdown, they get the advantage from Upstart Goblin because that 1% matters in those decks. It does. Same reason they play Thunder Spark Dragon or whatever. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Same reason they run that. They need to deck them. Because it helps them get to the cards that they need, because that is their win condition. However, and this is a big however, meta decks, such as Dragons, the new ones, they don't OTK that much, guys. They do, they can. It's just not how it's built anymore. It's not made to OTK anymore. Well, it's not used to OTK anymore. It's more of a control-based kind of thing. But just keep that in mind. So Dragons, Evil Swarm, Prophecy, Mermill. Now, I guess you could technically have it in Mermill, because it OTKs pretty easily, I guess. But not really. Again, it's not, doesn't really OTK that often. Especially with certain cards that are going to be that got banned. Or limited or whatever. That's the meta right now. Or those are the big ones. Or not even Evil Swarm, but basically this is what you're looking out for, and I apologize if I'm missing something. I can't really think that well right now about if I'm missing anything. I don't know. These decks should not run Upstart Goblin, in my opinion. I mean, it's really up to the player if they really think that this 1.38% consistency increase is beneficial to them. But I would say, in most cases, it is not. And here's why. By playing Upstart Goblin, you are now eliminating 3 cards in your deck, making them effectively dead, I guess you could say. Or not, I should say, there's 3 cards that you could have used, that you could have had use for. Cards where effects may save you, or that effects may help you in some way. And instead, you're limited to only 37 cards. Now, knowing that you are losing 3 effective cards in the process by playing something like Upstart Goblin to only get a 1.38 increase, I don't think it's a good idea. I would much rather be able to play more effective cards, more win condition cards, more cards that help me get to my win condition or stop other players. I would much rather do that than get a 1.38% consistency increase, especially in decks that are already consistent as it is. That's all Upstart Goblin does. It doesn't win you games. Could. It doesn't though. It's the cards that you draw into that win you the games. Now, in decks that are already consistent that don't need the 1.38% consistency boost, why would you run the card? That's just my 2 cents on it. I think it's not really necessary in decks that don't do these following deck choices right here. I think these are the decks they should not be ran in. So that's just my 2 cents on it. You can see the math right here. 1.38% for your first hand equalizes for the rest of the game because you might not draw it, and you might draw it. So keep that in mind. That's just how I think of this this theory that's going around. I disagree with it, running it in decks that don't need it. I don't, if it was really a big boost. If you could really essentially put your deck down to 25 cards or something like that, and your deck still had all the combo pieces needed, that would be great. But it's not like that. It's not a big increase. That's it, guys. Just want to tell you, 1.38%. AvengerDuels out.